The final score of Torquay United 1, Wrexham 1. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC, and well, there we go. The season to end all seasons is over. Wow, what an experience. I've got to say that, there was nothing riding on this game for Wrexham. Obviously there was for Torquay, although it was a long shot for them to try to survive. But nonetheless, Wrexham with an unchanged team went for it. It was, I think I've got to say, the sort of game that if there was something riding on it, I feel a little disappointed because we most certainly should have won. Having said that, the level of commitment the players showed, considering there was nothing riding on it, was great. It was just that Wrexham were maybe lacking a touch of that sharpness that you get when Notts County are breathing down the neck and you know you can't drop any points. Wrexham opened Torquay up a lot, but weren't ruthless as usual, and as a result, well, a point's fine. It don't matter, do it? Wrexham, I said, naming an unchanged team, and had an initial little scare, although it was totally inadvertent, when Collins on the left swept in a cross which he overhit, and Foster had to be sharp to backpedal and tip it over the bar. Foster, his quick distribution throughout this game was really useful, and within moments he got the ball and he started off the party in terms of Wrexham's strong opening 22 minutes. A great early ball, Mullin running in behind the defence, cut inside, drove a shot, trying to beat the keeper at the near post and drilled it just into the side netting. The battle between Wrexham and Mark Halstead, the Torquay keeper, would become the story of the match, to be honest, as Wrexham continued to push and push and push. The opening stages, it was too easy for Wrexham to get through, and frustrating that they didn't get a goal as a result of it. Torquay had to win. They were bold. They tried to put players up the pitch. They were aware they couldn't go crazy against us, but they were leaving a lot of space, especially between midfield and the defensive line. There were gaps around the sides because their wing-backs were really pushing high. Dobbs, I thought, had a great game on the right for them, and as a result, runners going on the outside of the three centre-backs were finding lots of space to get into and lots of space to run into behind. And like I said, I think if Wrexham throughout the game, but often in these early stages when it really did look like it could have been an avalanche of goals for Wrexham, if we'd been a bit more careful, a bit more certain playing our passes, we could have scored a lot. We got a great chance to start things off though in the 6th minute. James Jones driving forwards, working it wide. Dalby drove in the cross and Nico Lawrence handled it. Penalty given, simple decision for the referee. Mullin stepped up, looked to place it inside the right post, but again, Halstead dived down low to his left and made a great save, pushing the ball away. Soon afterwards, another chance for Wrexham, this time from a corner on the left-hand side. Swept in. O'Connell met it with a great header, about 8 yards out, glancing it in. Superb save by Halstead. It was all reflexes, just reaching up towards the top left corner and clawing it out. Attempt to clear it in the goal mouth, only found O'Connell again, and O'Connell drove in another powerful shot, which was deflected away off Dalby, and the danger was gone. But this is still the opening 10 minutes, and it's still the opening 10 minutes when James Jones fed another good ball down the right for Mullin, cutting inside. He drove in a shot. Moxey lunging forwards, only deflected it past Halstead. At last the ball got past Halstead, but a defender was there to clear it off from under the bar. O'Connell then feeding in a fabulous looking ball with Torquay's defence really having lost its shape. It looked like Mendy was going to beat the keeper to it, but he just failed to do so. It just went across him a little bit and Halstead was able to grab it at his feet. And 16th minute, another big chance. Barrett working the ball again down the right to Mullin cutting inside, and I mean, honestly, there was just nothing wrong with this finish. It was a very tight angle. He blasted it with power across Halstead, who just managed to get his right foot out full stretch and deflect the ball away. A fabulous save. Halfway through the first half, another great save by Halstead. A free kick 25 yards out. O'Connell took it, drove it in, took a deflection off the wall. Halstead got across and managed to get his fingertips to it and push it over the bar. But then our momentum ran out a bit. I think that happens, isn't it, when you keep making chances and not taking them. And our momentum started to dip. And to be fair to Torquay, they were looking to take us on. They needed to win and needed Maidenhead to lose at Gateshead. And the swing in goal difference had to be 7 goals. So The chances were slim, but they were giving it a go. And although they didn't really create any chances in the first half, Hall had a half chance from the edge of the area he couldn't keep down, but that was it. They were certainly competing. They were riding their luck at the back and relying on Halstead, but they started to take the game to us a little bit, especially, like I said, down that right-hand side, where quite a lot of balls were coming in, and Nouble was doing well. He's strong, he's winning his fair share of aerial duels, and there's his mobility as well, just causing us a few issues. Still, at half-time, you felt, okay, we're in control of this, we should be ahead. When we hear that Gateshead are winning 3-0, whether that heartens Torquay, I don't know, because Wrexham started a half very strongly. Within 2 minutes, Barnett sweeping in across after a long probing spell of pressure. Lee lost his man, but from 8 yards out, tried to glance it beyond Halstead and got too little on it. It went wide of the post. And then a minute later, again, another great move. Another great save. Cannon starts it, sweeping the ball across the right-hand side. Barrett's played a great 1-2 with Mullen, and then Barrett, again from a tightish right-sided angle, drove in a powerful shot. Great save by the keeper. Barnett stretching, managed to hook the rebound towards goal. The defender got a touch to knock it behind. But then, 53rd minute, against the run of play, to be fair, Torquay took the lead. I think it should have been disallowed, if I'm honest. Stubbs with a good ball down the right-hand side. Jarvis driving it into the goal mouth. Nouble looked offside, had a simple tap-in. Looking at the video, he is offside, I think. He's comfortably offside. But, okay, linesman didn't spot it. Fair enough. And Wrexham were behind. We responded well, but we weren't really making chances at first. They started to come. Mullin and Mendy combining nicely on the left. Mullin finding Dalby, he was backing into his man 10 yards out. A really sharp turn and shot by Dalby, but it was too close to Halstead. He still had to be quick with his hands to parry it. Then Wrexham again pushing on. O'Connell with a nice pass after some pressure by Torquay to release Barnett on the right, and he played a lovely ball again down the right hand side. All those issues coming down the right. Mullin cutting inside, driving in a shot which again was denied. This one was a strange one because it took a deflection off Lawrence, and I think Halstead looked like he was actually beaten because the ball was going to his right, suddenly deflected to his left. It just hit the side netting, just inside the post. It was so close to going in. A minute later, and Torquay made another chance. Nouble this time pulling the ball in to Hall 8 yards out, but his header was inaccurate. It was a real chance, and Phil Parkinson responded almost straight away with a double change. The two strikers, Mullin and Dalby, coming off, and on in their place coming Ollie Palmer and Billy Waters to make his Wrexham debut. Waters soon was asking for a penalty when again Wrexham got around the right side of Torquay's defence as he cut into the box. Moxie made a sliding tackle. The referee judged it to be a corner despite Waters' pleas and those of the massive following army behind the goal. And then soon afterwards another opportunity. Barnett this time sweeping the ball into the far post. Mendy getting up really well. It was a great chance and winning his header, but Lawrence backing into him, I think inadvertently, getting the reward for being so tight to him, just took a little deflection off it, which sent it wide for a corner. Wrexham made another change. Ford coming on for Barnett, who had worked very hard up and down the flanks, and Ford's passing down that right-hand side would eventually play a part in the breakthrough. Wrexham switched to a diamond of Tom O'Connor stepping up into midfield and got the equaliser when O'Connell did well to again pass out from the back. Ford with an excellent ball inside to Lee and a return pass. First time to Ford, he punched it down the line for Palmer. Palmer driving down the right hand side, found himself in a 2-on-2 break with Lee in the middle. He then beat Lawrence to make it 2-on-1, and as a defender in the middle, Donlan started to come across, played a perfect pass in to leave Lee with a simple tap in. After beating his man, it could have become a 4-on-1 break. Torquay had left themselves so short at the back. And Palmer continues to look good on the right. He hugged that touchline. Wrexham making so many chances there. And Ford coming on actually gave us different sort of threat on the right. Rather than Barnett surging forward, Ford's passing was very good, very accurate, and nearly set up another goal in the 94th minute because Wrexham kept pushing on and Torquay were clinging on a bit by now. Cannon working it wide to Ford. Ford with a good ball down the line. Palmer from a tight angle with players arriving in the box. Maybe he could have looked up, but instead he went for power and smashed it just wide of the far post with the keeper beaten. A good effort. Moments later, the bet whistle had gone and the greatest season of all time was over. I'm not just mean for Wrexham. for anyone. 111 points. Absolutely astonishing. Performances. Foster had no chance with the goal. Didn't have much to do. Like I said, Torquay, I was impressed with their heart, and they spent a lot of time in Wrexham's half. I'm not trying to diminish that or patronise them, but really they only made 2 good chances. The goal, which was offside, and Hall's headed chance, which maybe he should have found a target with. Back 3 again, solid enough. O'Connell's passing from the back I thought was excellent. O'Connor did really well, nipping in as well. Tozer was strong and solid in the centre. The wing backs, Barnett did really well, scurrying up and down the line. He was quiet in the first half, came into it more in the second. But having said that, when Ford came on, it was interesting, like I said, to see how Ford's passing down the wing continue to open Torquay up. Mendy put a very good shift in down the left-hand side. The crosses that were coming in from his side were tended to come from deep rather than from beating Mendy. In the centre of midfield, I think I just about made James Jones man of the match. He, again, was energetic. He was involved in a lot of good attacking play, a lot of good attacking movements, a lot of nice link play on that right-hand side as Wrexham opened Torquay up on that flank. He did well. Cannon had one of those games where he was very involved, did lots of good things, some really nice instinctive passes, and a couple of dangerously slack passes in his own half that could have been punished. The whole chance came from that. But overall, I mean, he's a quality player, and he was at the centre of a lot of what Wrexham are doing. As was Lee, who did well, cutting inside off and going more narrow than he normally does from this left-sided midfield slot and getting into goal-scoring positions, looking to prompt. Again, sometimes that final ball wasn't quite there, but he scored the goal in the end. Mullin, well, I'll tell you what, first half Mullin was all over the place. He looked good. He was clearly angry as well after missing that penalty and trying to make amends. And not being for Halstead, he would have been on the score sheet. Second half, though, as it wore on, he had some nice approach play. He wasn't quite as involved, and Parkinson decided to end the season prematurely and give him a standing ovation, which I think was a good call. Dalby also worked hard, occupied the centre-backs well, didn't get many sniffs of goal, unfortunately for him, but a solid shift from him. And like I said, the subs that came on, Ford did really well, I thought. His link-up play was excellent. And Palmer, who was intelligently drifting to the right and getting space out there and drawing the Moxie across, did really well. Was a genuine threat. Set up the goal, unlucky not to get an injury-time winner. Gosh, we didn't get an injury-time winner. Isn't that strange? But anyway, that's it. That's the last final whistle of this season. We'll be back, of course, soon. And in the meantime, I can just say it's been such a pleasure for all of us on the media team bringing you the seasons of seasons. It really has been wonderful. We can't wait to do it again in the Football League. And don't worry, we're not going to leave you alone over the summer. We'll cook some plans up. So the final score of Wrexham top, everyone else, I don't care. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC. Okay, it was Torquay 1, Wrexham 1, but you know what I mean.